Hello. Today I'm actually going to look at some music from Final Fantasy XI. I don't know if people commonly talk about or go to the FF11 soundtrack. I think music in MMOs is easy to overlook. Even as somebody who played World of Warcraft for many, many years, I mostly had the sound off. There's a couple tracks I might recognize. There's a track in Burning Crusade in Outland that is actually an orchestration of a Chopin nocturne, which is incredible, and that's memorable to me. Actually, I might insert just a moment of it here because it's so cool. I wish more people heard it. I might even use it in a video game music quiz. Spoilers, I'm going to be releasing one soon. Or maybe I've already released it before this video. Maybe. I'm working on it right now. Anyways, I don't know if people overlook it or if because it's Final Fantasy, there are more people who do still explore the soundtrack quite a bit. Anyways, the reason I found this is actually because I watched this video from this kind of new and growing channel called TomLazan, or person called TomLazan, and he spent years playing every single Final Fantasy he could, 67 of them, including all the spin-offs he possibly could, including playing all the gacha mobile games extensively. He played a lot of FF11 alone in order to ranked it number 24 on the list. He made a 5.5 hour video. It's really great. He is really in-depth and thorough. I really appreciate his style and wish I could do stuff like that. So much dedication. And FF11, he had pretty good taste in music that was similar to mine throughout which soundtracks he said he liked a lot. And he said FF11 had amazing music. It was one of his top ones out of all of these almost 70 Final Fantasy games he played. And he even listed favorite tracks. So I thought I would use that as an unofficial recommendation, Oops, it's a little bit off center here. Let me put that back. We're doing it live. Do it live. Yeah, so I just took it as I marked it down. I was where better to look than somebody this thorough, similar taste to me, says this is one of the greatest soundtracks in the series. Or just the music overall, and pointed to a specific track. It's only 3 minutes long. I'm really excited because, I literally know nothing in this case. Recollection, as I like to do, I didn't mean to play it, but we got spoiled there. What I was going to say is that I like to make a guess before I start listening what context tells me maybe I'm going to hear, just for the fun of the comparison, you and me together can be oh, what might this be? We see what it is. See, was I right? All I have is that it's an MMO. It's a track called Recollection. It's apparently really good, but I would assume it is, somehow reminiscing a little, my favorite German word and concept, Sehnsucht, sort of, poignant, painful reminiscence, longing more specifically. Maybe it's like that. We will see if it's really a subtle, introspective piece or not. It would be hard to imagine this would be a really intense piece with this title, so we kind of know that, but maybe I'll be surprised. Nice little chromatic step up. It is indeed very meditative and introspective. Yep, 30 seconds, and we get our second instrument, the synth strings layer. definitely something kind of meant to happen at this point in the track. But I really like the start. Very much of like a Once Upon a Time. You could really imagine like a game opening with this, like where it opens a storybook and tells you like this is the history of this place, or like this is the story of the legend of the hero in the world that we're in. You could really imagine this 30 seconds, maybe even looping only with that one instrument, being that Once Upon a Time feel. And I mean, what is Once Upon a Time? It's telling a story about the past, the upon a time once long ago. So actually, it's sounding like that means there's something about this instrumentation that actually does match the concept of recollection, which is remembering something from the past. That's what memory is. And an old story or myth is a memory passed down through oral tradition, or other means, but usually, originally oral tradition before other forms of like writing or record keeping. Anyways, so that association already means it's made, a very distinctive choice stylistically to match what it's trying to do and what the piece title implies as well. Honestly, I would be curious if the Japanese title for this piece is the same, because with Nier Automata that I've done, I really like looking at what the Japanese title is, and I've done it for Final Fantasy XIII as well, for Gapra Whitewood, where it implied it was less of like a natural forest, which made sense with what it actually is. Whereas the English term Whitewood is completely made up for the English name. Give me a moment. I might just edit this out, but I'm going to look for it. So I looked and I did not find the Japanese for these titles. I haven't been able to find a Japanese track list. What I did find is that Recollection is an arrangement of Memoro della Stono, plays in key moments in the story, and that is actually part of the opening theme. I don't think I'm going to listen to the whole opening theme now, perhaps in another video, but I think I'll listen to the part that is Memoro della Stono, of which this is an arrangement. I'm going to include that right now. And apparently it's made famous by being performed during, as a sung piece during some of the Distant Worlds concerts and another Voices music from Final Fantasy concerts. And that it's in Esperanto, which also Memoro della Stono is also in Esperanto. Which is really interesting. I didn't realize I was going to find something that cool now. I couldn't find the Japanese title, but I did find another piece to listen to. So we're going to do that. I might even listen to a Distant Worlds performance in this video, just for fun. But let's keep going from where it adds these strings. I'm going to back up and get where they start. It is a beautiful, comforting, almost lullaby-esque piece. A little pentatonic, descending melody there. Again, very comforting. Even if it has some minor key harmonies. The woodwinds this time. So now I'm guessing this is a vocal song originally, or at least popularized that way. So now I'm hearing it as a transcription or arrangement. Like that's a person would be singing this. But it sounds great this way too. A little more instrumental layering. Maybe four instrument layers. Ooh. Different harmonic choice. That scale or step up there was quite intricate. A little, lower neighbor, chromatic lower neighbor, adding a little bit more interest to the start of the next melody phrase. quite a duet going on between the different layers. A lot of counterpoint. Very steady counterpoint as well, almost species. Okay, so it opened up with these the cymbals crash. Timpani into cymbals. Now it's more expansive. Yeah, I love that timpani. Nice unexpected major there. Borrowed chord. Back to that. I did find this really nice and peaceful. It did open up into a little bit of a kind of epic Final Fantasy feel with the timpani and cymbals, like here. But it's really just a little louder with a little bit more instrumental layering. I still think that it was simple, but I really liked it. I'm actually going to put it under Beautiful Tranquility. I'm going to keep it. I'm using this blue for all the Final Fantasy, so I'm going to do that. And I will unformat this text to be back to normal. There, Final Fantasy 15 Recollect, or sorry, this should be 11. Under Beautiful Tranquility, but now I am going to find this other piece that we're looking at. Final Fantasy 11, Memoro della Stono. So there's Distant Worlds versions, some live versions. Let's see. I would like to listen to this actual live one instead of the there's like an album version of the Distant Worlds version, but I want to see the actual video of the performance because I have never gotten to go to a Distant Worlds. They've had it in my city, and I have a friend who's gone. Actually, multiple people I know who've gone before, and I've never gotten to. I've never managed to make them. Actually, I've never made any of the major game concert ones, like the Zelda concerts or Final Fantasy. I wish I had seen more of them. I hope I can catch some in the future. I have seen some game music concerts. I saw the 8-Bit Big Band, who killed. They were amazing. I really, really liked what they did. It's just incredible energy at that concert. Really, really good. But I think the 8-Bit Big Band might be the only... Oh no, I did see the Symphony did a game music opening night for their season. It kind of sucked. It was just a lot of like, hey, look, games have like epic film score music as well. There wasn't much like classic game music that's very melody forward. It was just a lot of like very epic sounding, like, hey, this is like, oh, you know, like Marvel movies and like, you know, trailers for action blockbuster films. Well, games have sounds like that. You know, they did like Witcher 3 music and Skyrim music, and they barely had any recognizable moments because it was just full of generic, I don't know, all the arrangements were by the same composer who is like kind of spearheading the whole thing. And I respect him and thank you for, you know, setting this up and making these arrangements for the symphony. But unfortunately, his tastes and arrangements leaned them all towards just sounding like epic trailer music. Kind of missed the point of like capturing the really distinctive melodies and memorable moments. Like if you're doing Skyrim and Witcher 3 and you're only having one or two recognizable moments out of like 10 minutes of music, I think maybe the arrangement is too generic. Anyways, so that's all I've seen for 2 game concerts in my life. And one bad and one good, but the good one was a jazz big band, which was awesome, but Never gotten to see one of these, and that's part of why I'm choosing this video to watch. I wonder, should I make myself tiny or big here? If I'm big, we can see the whole video. Okay. I'm going to watch this one. It's 8 minutes, so I'm going to try not to stop it too often, but I'm really going to be curious if I recognize the prior theme. In fact, I'm going to pull it up in a different window here so that I can play it. I'm just getting the main theme in my head. Actually, I want the woodwind part. Oh. I don't know. I can't find where it starts with the beginning of the melody, so I'm going to go to the strings part. So how does it sound? Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I don't know, just singing it a little bit so it's more in my mind to pick it out when it comes up here. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Okay. Oh, I would love to go to one of these. I know they're never perfect, but I don't know, the big band one I went to is pretty close to perfect. That was a great experience. I think rearranging them that way gave them a lot of life. Yeah, I don't know what this is going to be. Oh, that does sound like it. So I can hear the same like kind of scalar motion in the same key, I think. It's more minor key overall, but it does seem like it's the same thing. Quite a lot of singers they got. I guess not that many. Doesn't go all the way across. They sound great. Oh man. I like the conductor. Man. Yeah, it's not I mean, I've seen like Mahler 2, Mahler's Second Symphony, the Resurrection live, and that has, you know, insane chorus. Seen like, you know, Beethoven's Ninth live as well, but don't care for that as much. But Mahler 2 made me cry. It's stunning, and that is massive chorus. So like usually at the symphony it would be like this times 2, like both sides, but sound great. And when they reach these higher notes here, that was great. Yeah, they really nail that. I like the conductor's energy. I think the chorus sounds really good, and if it was, you know, twice that size, how good could it sound? And this is just like a phone recording or something, so I'm sure the sound's not as good, but I do want to see it. I'm sure if I go and listen to the album one as well, you know what? Fine. I'm going to quickly look at how the start of this album one sounds. Because I do want to hear, I have it open in a different tab, so don't mind that the audio is, you can't see it, but I want to see how it sounds. Ooh, it's really good quality. Obviously it sounds way cleaner. It's really, really nice. But I dare say this chorus sounds better. Worse audio quality, but when they hit this next part. I think they just sound better. I think there's a little more vibrato, more passion. Damn, great chorus. Wow. They sound so good. I would love to hear this chorus sing Mahler too. Oh my god. They sound really good together. You know, their pitch is amazing on top of like the vibratos coming through with the group. I mean, it's, you know, not always better or worse, but I enjoy that more. Feels a little bit more passionate. I want to compare that again to like what the recorded one sounds like. God, they sound so good. I gotta turn the volume down the other one so it's a fair comparison. So is that about 130 on this track? Yeah, this is so much better. Again, the audio quality is worse, but just listen to that difference. You know, a clean, flat, like sound coming out of a chorus could be perfect. Like there's nothing wrong with one or the other, but I really do have a preference here. So I'm glad I picked this live video. Like just check this out again. That versus this. It really sounds like a bunch of human voices. It might even be that there's like one or two people really belting loud with wonderful, powerful voices with great vibrato that are carrying it. Not carrying it like the other people need like any assistance or are worse, but like sometimes certain really loud members who are great singers can add that sound on top of the rest, and add some character. There's a great video on YouTube that compares the finales of Mahler's Second Symphony with the choir, and one of the best ones has this like there's like one soprano voice, I think, that just soars over everything, and gives this incredible character and beautiful vibrato to this massive choir section. And it like actually like has made me cry sometimes, like that particular one. So sometimes that happens, and it's actually a good thing when it becomes less homogenous. Well, you know, artistically good, bad, whatever, like subjectively good to someone's preference like mine and commonly enjoyed, but not like objectively better. Anyways, I want to go on, but I thought that was a really interesting comparison to do. Now I'm satisfied and I don't need to go back to the studio one. It's probably not studio either. It's probably recorded from a live concert, and it's just a very different choir at the concert that got recorded for this album. And of course, much better audio quality because they're going to take it from good mics on stage and they're going to clean it up for the recording to be released. Whereas this is, you know, a distant phone or something. But yeah, even just the way the chorus sounds coming through that is worth listening to this one and to see it. Super cool. And this choral section sounds great. Probably, I mean, these are always arrangements. I was going to say probably arranged by, you know, someone for this concert, but that someone is probably official Final Fantasy or Square Enix. Unlike the concert I saw where it was a composer unaffiliated with games. So I guess this could be considered an official arrangement, whereas otherwise it could be an unofficial composer's arrangement, in which case it's hard to evaluate it as the music from the game. But this is like in a gray area between it. It's kind of the music from the game officially because it's a Square Enix sanctioned concert, and I don't know who made the arrangements for Distant Worlds. Love that again. Wow, they sound amazing. was so quiet there. Listen to the change in volume. Go from loud to so quiet on the next note. Really great job. I mean, I know very little about choirs. I've never been in one. I don't know nothing about them other than having heard them in many pieces of music and seen many of them live. I know nothing technically about it at all. It could be somebody who knows it could just immediately point out, this is obviously like an amateur community choir and not that great, and point out things. I don't know. In my experience, it seems like generally all choirs are kind of like amateur community things because you just need so many people. That's kind of the point. It's communal. Even for big symphony concerts, it's just a like better average of the communal singers. That's kind of the impression I get. So I don't know. To me, anything I can notice as somebody, you know, who's a connoisseur of the genre, but not of choirs in specific, although I do have like literally like a cappella choral album cover on my wall for arrangements of piano music by this choir called Accentus, with Lawrence Aquilby directing it. Amazing stuff. So I guess I have some experience with it, but I don't know. Everything I can notice is that they're really, really good. Really good. Like the sound of it, their dynamic control, their pitch. I wish all of them were this good. Like, they're really into what they're doing. I feel like they're all Final Fantasy fans. They're just giving it their all. And the quality of the arrangement is really good so far. And we haven't even gotten to the song yet. Oh, I recognize that. The kind of descending pentatonic end of that phrase. Definitely remember that. Here we go. Not yet. I love this. I want to go to one of these concerts so bad. A little more color in the instrumentation. Various woodwinds. Ooh, lovely scale up on the violins. Ooh, it's in English. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was going to be in Esperanto, like the title. And it could be it is sometimes in Esperanto, and this is like an English version for the concert. I don't know. Yeah. I'm also really curious when I hear a little bit of the sing, I am going to see who the singer, like what the singer sounds like in the album version, because it could be very different, and I'm really curious about that. I'm going to go back and respect the singer's entrance, not going to start halfway. It does sound familiar. It might be the same melody. I mean, I know it's what I just listened to, Recollection, was an arrangement of this, which is included in the title theme and is popularized more in Distant Worlds and this arrangement. I know all that, so of course they're connected, but I am trying to hear if like this is exactly the quote, one for one, that it was arranging, or if it's more the general shape, or if this is a different part and we will get the same melody. I'm just seeing if I can feel it out. But it's beautiful either way and clearly has the same vibe if it's not exactly the same. Okay, so also I can see in the title this is Susan Calloway. I just want to shout out her. I miss shouting out the singers and some of the other things I've seen, like for Claire Obscure, because I couldn't see the name anywhere easily, and I didn't stop to look it up. But seeing the title here, Susan Calloway doing a wonderful job. I don't know who's going to be on this album version, but now that I've heard some of the singing, I want to see what the singer's like on the recorded studio one. Well, studio, again, it's probably just a mic'd up live recording. You know, that sounds like the same singer. I think it might be Susan Calloway on it as well. Let's see. Some prominent vocalists on the album include Susan Calloway, Amanda Aachen, Emmy Evans, Ricky. Yeah, okay, so I think she's on this album version. She sounds amazing on that recording, but I'm assuming they're all live anyways, so this is like another performance of equal like quality on the stage, maybe even better one performance to the next. I think she sounds wonderful in this video despite the lower audio quality. But yeah, Susan Calloway in both. I was really curious, like sometimes they don't have the same singer for every live one because they travel around. They're not necessarily going to travel with the orchestra to all the performance places, but they might be there for some of them. I'm curious, like on the tour, if Susan Calloway came with them to sing her songs on it everywhere they went, or just a couple places, or even just one. I'm really curious, but we're lucky because we get kind of like the official-ish singer for it. Or it could be it's not like official at all. It just happens to be like, this is the vocalist for one or a few of the locations. Must be a few, because these are not the same performances. I know from the choir it's very different. So I wonder, it's more likely to just be Distant Worlds on this tour had Susan Calloway for several stops on the tour, and one of them was the one that they made the live recording for. Like I've been to concerts at symphonies that were the concerts that they turned into a proper album. Because when it comes to classical music and, you know, the symphony world of recordings, a lot of them just happen to be live. And sometimes it's not a big deal made about whether recording's live or not. Because like the live performances are so good already that, you know, you won't really know a lot of times, like especially piano concertos and symphonies, like your favorite ones on album that are like, whatever, seem like they'd be the studio versions. Really, most of the time, if you look, it's just a live recording from a concert they had. That's just how good the musicians are. They're kind of perfect normally and have that live energy. And there's not really mistakes, so there's no reason not to just record it live, as long as you have proper mics. And when you go to a symphony concert hall, you usually see a whole bunch of mics around the stage hanging from the ceiling with thin black cables and stuff. Like you'll see that. So it's pretty much ready to record well most times. And then a lot of them get released as the albums that people know and love. Really more just solo stuff and chamber music that gets more studio recorded sometimes. And there are absolutely studio recordings of symphonies and piano concertos. You know, some big names like Valentina Lisitsa, who I'm really passionate fan for. You can see like her like studio recording little clips from working on her Rachmaninoff piano concerto cycle, which once that happened, it became very well known and favorited by a lot of people. But yeah, you can see stuff like that in the studio. I shared some Kapustin piano concerto bits in Xenoblade thing for like jazz, big band, classical. And that also is a studio recording session. So it happens. Anyways, but I think it's more that situation. She was the touring vocalist for part or all of their concerts for that like season. And they recorded one of the concerts. So she became the vocalist on the album. But not so much like the pieces were written with her and she was the official one for a special studio recording. Anyways, she sounds great on both. And I love this live one, so let's keep going. She's such a cool voice, a lot of personality in it, a lot of color. Wow, what a perfect belt. Wow, lovely. I loved that. Again, that descending pentatonic end to the phrase. We have it again. It's such a good chorus. They're so good. I love her vocalization there. Interesting, just little interjections. Almost like she just like jumped in to be part of the chorus rather than like a different musical part. It's kind of cool. Like, why not? Like, she's maybe mic'd differently, and maybe mixed differently, but otherwise, like, she could, in theory, just join and sing in with the chorus. And maybe that's what she did. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't a written part. She was just like, I'm going to join the choir. Nice harmony. Ooh. Little jaunty bit. That's cool. I don't know what they're saying. 222 sounds like chic wave dashing. The chic wave dash chorus. Oh, I hope somebody gets that joke. I love that though. That little like they're doing some call and response with the chorus like projecting in a different almost staccato like style compared to the prior style. And the counter melodies against da, 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 and then the chorus goes da, 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 behind her. Oh, the chorus sounds so good there. Listen to that tenor voice. Wow, that's like the Brawl, Smash Bros. Brawl opening theme, like level of tenor on top of the chorus, like is really projecting on top. Beautiful, man. Sounds so good. What a male chorus. Oh. Man, she's so good. Holy shit. Holy shit, she's so good. Nice little crack there. Oh. Wow. Chorus is still just giving it their all. Song. Love the little, self-referential music. Love her breathiness on that. I like this ending. Interesting chord to end it on. What would I expect it to do? Something like that. But it ends on... I guess it ends on the 5. Could call it like ending on a half cadence and then not progressing forward. But it doesn't sound necessarily like the half cadence harmony. But it's ending on scale degree 5 anyways. Feels like it should go 5-1. It's just kind of a rich chord. It's not like a straight 5-chord triad, so it has a different feeling. It's not as obviously leading tone back to tonic, but it definitely ends on the tension for sure. I want to quickly look up what's the arranger on this? Who do I credit for such good orchestration? Let's see. Switch to my research view. Memoro della Stono, a vocal section from the opening theme. Okay, I knew that. Composed by Uematsu. Cool. Arranged by Shiro Hamaguchi and Uematsu. Orchestrated by Hamaguchi. Masato Kato wrote the lyrics. I guess in the original Japanese, starts with ima, which I think means now. So now something something. Same with fluas nun. Nun is probably the now in Esperanto, because I think there's other languages where nun is now. So ima and nun are probably the ones meaning now. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. It's kind of cool. There's an unofficial English translation, which does not look like the lyrics we just heard. I didn't pay a lot of attention, but it definitely had something about to sing a song for you. And the starting words were definitely not now flows innocent blood. So not quite sure about that. The medley of Memoro della Stono Distant Worlds was conducted by Arnie Roth, performed by the Royal Stockholm Philharmonic Orchestra. Susan Calloway in this studio recording and in this live one we're seeing. But it doesn't say arranger. Arrangers, again, Hamaguchi. Yeah, I don't know. The conductor, Arnie Roth, was one of the arrangers. And then there's a few other people, Miyano, Mizuta, Nakayama, and Hamaguchi as before. Not Uematsu credited as an arranger, at least not here. So I think what I gather from that is that probably several people, maybe even the conductor, had a hand in making this orchestral arrangement and orchestration, along with Hamaguchi, who was part of the original orchestration, helping Uematsu arrange his composition for, orchestra instruments. So possibly a lot of hands, or one of these many hands, primarily shaping this for orchestra, and came out great. I could definitely see that it was the melody that we saw arranged in Recollection. And I really am happy that I did this live video because it was really good. And I've missed the experience of going to one of these concerts. And I feel like I just kind of got it a little bit. I got to enjoy a little bit of what it's like to be there. And I love that it felt superior to the studio version. I see it referred to also as a studio thing, but I feel like it would have been live, with the Stockholm, at the Stockholm Concert Hall, December 4th, 2007. Yeah, live recording. Okay, so somewhere somebody referred to it in the wiki as a studio recording, but clearly it's not. Like, and on the proper page for it, it does call it a live recording. And I, had that aside, that tangent talking about the commonness of live classical, symphony recordings. This is one of them. And this performance, I think, is better than the one they have on record. Just subjectively, my sense from what I noticed here. But I think the choir, the female and male choirs, in terms of the ranges of the singers, were great. All the qualities that I know how to notice, and with this audio quality, what I can perceive, is that they were killing it. They brought so much. I think she sounded basically flawless, full of personality and character in her voice. She's also the one you can hear on record for it, which is great because she's now associated with these performances and these arrangements. I love the conductor. I think the orchestration was tasteful and really excellent. And I think this was a better game music experience at the symphony than the game music symphony that I saw, for sure. And the one I saw, I'm not going to name it because I don't want to shit talk people working hard out there. And I really respect what they're trying to do. But it was one that has apparently a good amount of acclaim. I just didn't think the arrangements worked for what I wanted out of it. This does. I love this, and it makes me encouraged to make more effort into going to a Distant Worlds concert. I was a little worried they might be like that other one I went to, just kind of epic film music sort of feel and not super distinct. But this reminds me more of the 8-bit big band concert I went to, which was full of character and great arrangements that focused on what they loved about the music they were arranging and making sure that's at the forefront, which is the opposite of what the other experience was. This is in line with what I liked about the one I went to that was good. Anyways, I added Recollection to Tranquility. I really liked this one, and I would like to add it. It's not solo choral, so I can't add it to this, and this should have always been called a cappella choral, and I think I'm going to get rid of the question marks because I do want to keep an a cappella choral playlist. I think I can find more for this. Where do I want this? Maybe dramatic classical, because there is some sung music in here. But I kind of want to put it under like orchestral songs, because that is a genre. You have your, like Mahler has orchestral songs. Richard Strauss has orchestral songs. It is a genre. So I think I want to, Dvorak has it. I'm going to try to make it a new one of these. I don't know. Will there be enough of them, though? Am I going to have enough orchestral songs for this? Because I was thinking I probably like one of these at least. Maybe this one, Alicia, would fit as an orchestral song. Let me look on the research real quick. We're just hanging out. I'm looking up some stuff. We're looking up orchestral song cycles. Let me remind myself, how many are there that are famous? I feel like Schumann maybe, but he's more normal Lieder, not orchestral ones. Like Liederkreis, I don't think is that prominent. Like the ones I think of are Fauré maybe, Schubert. Yeah, his are not really orchestral either, just arranged that way sometimes. Ravel though, not really. Scheherazade, I don't know. I definitely think of Mahler. The all three of these, Kindertotenlieder, des Knaben Wunderhorn, das Lied von der Erde, those are pretty major. No, not that. Beethoven, what has he had? An die Ferne Geliebte? I have no idea what that is. Did Brahms have any? Zigeunerlieder, I feel like maybe I've heard of that. Bernstein had... I mean, maybe like the musical stuff. And of course, all the opera people like Bellini, but opera is a different thing. Britain had a lot, and I think I've heard of some of these. Which ones have I heard of? I must have heard of some of these specifically. I think the Serenade for Tenor, Horn, and Strings is the one I've heard of. Debussy had... No, I mean, this I've heard sung just voice and piano. Yeah, Richard Strauss. Wait a second. Der Krämerspiegel, Shopkeeper's Mirror. I don't remember this being the Strauss song. Okay, what am I missing? And yeah, the biblical songs with Dvorak. Like, I'm thinking of the 4 last songs. I don't know why those are not categorized that way. Right? Like, IMDb last songs. Oh, sorry, IMDb. IMSLP. Vier letzte Lieder. For voice, orchestra. Yeah. I mean, this is going to have way too much. I can't... Can I do it by composer? Sort this list by composer. Intersection for voice and orchestra. Work types. And how do I do composer? Focus composers. All pages with for voice and orchestra by composer. Next, I want to see what this shows. Is this better? Richard Strauss. Here we have Vier letzte Lieder, Gesänge, songs. Yeah, this is more what I was expecting to see. And here it shouldn't have... It's Franz Schubert, but yeah. Yeah, now it doesn't list the ones that are just arranged. It doesn't list like Winterreise. Rather lists this D535 lead, which is specifically for voice and orchestra. You can see it is originally written for that. Für eine Sopranstimme, soprano voice, mit Begleitung eines kleinen Orchesters. So, yeah, it's for a soprano voice with a small orchestra. He almost never wrote anything like that, but here we can see this is actually the case. And this one is more like an opera. One aria, one duet. Don't actually know what Zauberglöckchen is. You know, little magic clock or something. Did Schönberg have... Yeah, 6 Orchesterlieder. Are these famous? Have I heard of these? Interesting. His Opus 8. Whoa. Huh. Can I see his works listed by opus? There, list of works. There we go. So yeah, he wrote baritone and piano songs. Singstimme is a singing voice. Mittlere Singstimme, which is a middle singing voice. Verklärte Nacht, which is fascinating sextet, but no voices. Pelleas und Melisande, which is, oh, again. Well, this is a symphonic poem, not with voices, of course. It's a symphony basically, but called a symphonic poem. Then again, voice and piano, string quartet number 1 in D minor. And then we have these orchestra songs. So yeah, I think Schönberg, these are probably some of the ones that are a big deal that I've heard of. Man, he really wrote songs constantly. He's like Schumann or Mendelssohn, like really song driven. But it's hard to tell from a list like this, which ones are really famous. I'm going to try something. Like most things, my videos are kind of like podcast episodes. You never know what you're going to get, what we're going to delve into. Also, yeah, I did have this offset because I couldn't see the video at the start that I showed from the guy who played all the Final Fantasies. Now it's back to the center. But I'm going to try asking, what are a lot of the most mainstream famous classical orchestral songs, song cycles, most likely? They're usually song cycles. Usually nobody's writing like one song for orchestra, except Franz Schubert with that one that I somehow have never heard of despite studying him. Like I've literally done like data analysis projects on Schubert, pulling, web scraping like the lyrics from all the poems he used. So I'm pretty deep into Schubert. Beethoven's Fifth. What? The opening of Beethoven's Fifth. That's not a orchestral song. I mean, I don't think it would. What are you? This is a terrible response. Oh my God. Whoa. Iconic orchestral masterpieces. Oh, I get it. It's thinking I'm somebody who would call a symphony like a song, right? I think if a lot of people search, tell me what famous orchestral songs are, they would be meaning like pieces of music, right? The general way to use the term song. That, of course, people might get kind of elitist about if they like classical music being like, it's not a song. Don't clap after each movement, like whatever. Fuck that. Like, who cares? If you want to call it songs, feel free. I'm not going to stop you. But it did misinterpret what I meant. Like vocalist and I could say solo vocalist, but I'm just gonna say vocalist and orchestra. I'm not even gonna write out the full name because I don't remember. If it's Lied von der Erde or something. But this should make it know what I mean. I feel like that might have been why it took so long thinking, because it was trying to guess if it should answer me as somebody who just uses the word song. It might have even, I would have liked to have actually stopped and seen the thinking process. It might have been like, the user asked for this. What did they mean by the word song? I'm going to assume they actually just meant a piece. Or did they? Songs of a Wayfarer. Right, Mahler. Yep, of course. I mentioned Mahler. With 4 cycles. Richard Strauss with the last songs, among the most beloved. We have Berlioz's Summer Nights. Scheherazade from Ravel, but not the Rimsky-Korsakov Scheherazade, which is the most famous one, which is like some violin solo in it. Beautiful piece. I've seen it live twice, but Ravel's Scheherazade is very different. And Elgar's Sea Pictures, Albenberg, Schönberg, as we saw, not the Opus 8, but a different one. Britten, the Serenade. Oh, this is the one I said I thought I recognized. I was right. And Shostakovich Symphony 14 with soprano and bass. And of course, there's stuff like Mahler 9, I think it is, that is like Symphony of 1,000. Like, there's many choral symphonies as well, but that's different. I am going to say there's going to be a good amount of things that are symphonic with a primary singer. So I'm going to do it. I am going to make a new category. Playlists. It's going to be hard to make chapters for this one, but I'm going to leave in all this like exploration, and people can watch it if they want. Maybe 2 people will. Kind of like hanging out during a stream, you know? These are kind of like stream VODs, except that I am not streaming this live, but someday I will. Someday I'll do live things where we look at pieces together. Color. Let's do... That didn't work. Let's do green and call it... Damn it, it keeps losing the styling. And let's grab the Final Fantasy styling. It's 11. And right, I need to get the actual piece name. Memoro della Stono. Distant Worlds live. Live, you know, I mean, the album is also a live recording, but this will imply to me clearly enough to mean the live video one. Yeah. And I'm going to check if Alicia fits this as well, and if I'm going to move it. The soundtrack version that I listened to before. I forgot how damn good that was. Man, that was really good. Different feeling, but I still think it belongs there. So, orchestral songs. Congratulations, you now have 2 members. Congrats. And I'm also going to move some other stuff around. You can chill with me while I do this. I don't mind if you watch. Okay, I think I like this. They should maybe be arranged differently, like visually, but this is good enough. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully I can edit this one as something good, or just leave a whole bunch of it unedited, like, you know, hanging out like a stream. But this was cool. I didn't know I was going to go on this journey, like looking at the Distant Worlds live. I thought I was going to listen to a 3-minute peaceful track and just move on. You know me. There's always more to it. It's funny that I've recorded the last number of things I've recorded. All of them I thought I could do under 30 minutes, and every single one has been about 1 hour of, you know, full live recording time on OBS. Every single one has been an hour. I just can't avoid it, man. But hey, at least all this yapping gets to be preserved, you know? Maybe it shouldn't be preserved. Maybe it's not valuable enough to do that, but some people like it. Maybe a lot of people. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling and get on to something else. And I hope that you also get on to something else great with your day. And yeah, have a great time and wear something shiny. That's going to be my sign off for today. Find something shiny and wear it. Feels good. Until next time, see you later.